Good evening, family. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, 2011, and thank you for checking in to Inspired Minds, Extraordinary People. I'm your host, Kevin Armstrong, a.k.a. Rev Kev, sitting here with my co-host, Dan Burns.
What's going on?
Week
number 2.
Yeah, week number 2, man. We made it.
Congrats.
Now, on to our guests. We have two lovely ladies in the studio, two very good friends of mine, and we want to welcome them. We have Stephanie Singleton and Deb. I don't want to, because you use so many names on Facebook, I want to make sure I say the right name.
Harrison Anderson.
Deb Harrison Anderson from A Teacher's Light, and we just want to welcome them tonight.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. Thank you. It's
doing
good
well?
to be here. Yeah, it's really great to be here.
Okay. The thing is, guys, I've known Stephanie for a while now, and I've known Deb for a short time, but I feel like I've known her for a while. We've done, Stephanie and I have done youth ministry together, and her and... her husband and myself are pretty good friends. We're basketball buddies, and we hang out and all that. And, Deb's helped me out with a couple of things. She's actually taken pictures for one of our events back in April. But they're both teachers at Pine Bush, and they're going to talk to us about A Teacher's Life. So to kind of get things rolling, if you guys want to introduce yourselves maybe and say a couple of things about yourselves to the audience that I haven't said already.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Kevin. It's really great to be here, and Dan. We're excited. Stephanie and I are teachers at Pine Bush, as Kevin said, and we started teaching together in 2000. So that was really actually when we met each other also. And over the course of that time, we've gotten to know each other in various ways and really found out about our passions and seen how we share those. I'm an English teacher and a single mother, live in the area. And one of the reasons that I'm so excited about this organization is that it really bridges together a lot of the things I'm passionate about: education, writing, community outreach, even a little bit of photography I get to throw in there from time to time. So it's a nice linking of different things that I've been interested in throughout my life. And I'll turn it over to Stephanie now.
Great. Thanks, Deb. I'm thankful for being here, too, Kevin. Thank you for the opportunity.
Not a problem.
Deb and I, as I said, we started working back together in 2000. We had an opportunity to do co-teaching. I'm a special education teacher, and through the experience, we learned a lot from one another, and we always knew that there was something more outside the classroom that we needed to be able to share with other people, and that's kind of the beginnings of A Teacher's Light.
Okay. All right. So explain to the people exactly what A Teacher's Light is and what it does.
Okay, A Teacher's Light is pretty much an organization between service providers of education that would include teachers, coaches, community activists, pastors, youth leaders, anyone that educates. And that network is bridged together with people that are impacted by education. That would be the youth. Okay, or anyone that we service. And through our organization, we seek to provide resources such as books, curriculum, motivational products, and services that will bring everyone together.
Okay. Sure. Let me ask you a question. And obviously, you guys both felt passionate enough to start this. What was it that you saw that was missing, that you felt like, that this is not here, this is why we need A Teacher's Light, because this is missing?
Well, specifically for us, we have had this desire in us all along to do something to really emphasize the positive components. Because, a lot of times the media, and I don't mean to degrade the media because it's a wonderful thing in many ways, but a lot of the things that get brought out are the negative things. And there's a lot of good stuff going on out there. And so we really have shared that passion for quite some time. In October, unfortunately, we had a terrible thing happen. We had a tragic death of a student, and that really shook us to our core. And over the process of grieving through that, we just kind of came together, and we used, because faith is a big part of our lives, so we were praying and we were talking with each other. And the awareness that there were so many negative forces pulling at our students and at everybody, the parents, the teachers. So what is it that we can do here? And I had written some stuff that we were going to read, and it didn't print out, and forwarded it to Stephanie, and she came in and said, this is it. This is what we're going to do. And it really, from there, you talk about when you have to build something, but there wasn't really a lot of building at that point. Things just were coming together, and it was like, this is it. This is where we're going with this. And the more we talked to people who said, wow, I really need that out there, we really felt affirmation.
And another thing that we found is that there's only so much that you can do within the four walls of a classroom. And there's so much more to us as teachers than what goes on in the classroom. We have a lot of experience that we share. We have a lot of passions, and we wanted to be able to give that to our students as well outside of the four walls. And we found that there were a lot of educators that were like-minded. So a Teacher's Light allows people the opportunity to be able to share their passions, to be able to bridge the gap between the next generation that's coming up behind us as well.
It's good to see this, because I myself, I've been out of school for a little while, and I pretty much over a decade, but
22-year-old.
To see young women as yourself doing this, because like you said, teachers do get a negative outlook in the news. And I know when I was in school, there was a lot of teachers who just were pretty much burnt out. They were past their retirement time, and they just didn't care anymore. And it's good to see you guys go above and beyond the classroom to really reach out to kids, because they have these programs just to make it look good, and it fails and it's just thrown away, and these kids are just passed on to the next level, and it's just no real education going on, and there's no teachers that really care. And I guess that's why sometimes when these movies come out and you see the teacher who's going into the rough schools and they're they're gung-ho, it's kind of not believable, because you don't really see it, but you guys are actually making this true real life.
Thanks,
so I commend you guys.
Thank you. And there's so many other teachers out there that are like us, and we wanted to provide an opportunity for other like-minded teachers and people that are also not teachers in a traditional classroom setting, but are teachers in their community as well as in their churches or wherever they serve, to be able to allow them an opportunity to show what they're doing as well.
Yeah, you're not doing it just for a paycheck. You have a passion for it. So yes, that's good to see.
Yes, and also the thing is that I like it because the Teacher's Light, if you looked at it really quickly, you would think that your definition of teacher would just be, teachers in a school, and you clearly stated that you're not just talking about teachers in a classroom setting. We all have, anybody who impacts upon a youth, upon a child's life is a teacher, and that's who you seek to empower. That's great. Why don't you tell our audience about I know you guys are working on 2 books, these guys are very ambitious. So let's talk about the first book that's due out this fall.
Okay, well, the first book, as Deb stated earlier, came as a result of the student that we lost suddenly and unexpectedly. One of the ways that we were able to deal with that situation was, as Deb stated, our faith. And this is a book that will be able to provide opportunities for people that educate youth to be able to strengthen their faith in their walk, but also build their relationships with youth. So right now we kind of have the working title, when I say working title, because it's kind of taking on a life of its own.
Has a change since last week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have empowering youth towards their purpose.
Okay.
All right, because each youth that we come in contact with, they have a destiny. And I would even go on to say they have a divine destiny if they choose to walk in that. And my job is to be able to provide them with examples to nurture and guide them towards their destiny. So this book will allow me the opportunity to be able to read and reflect and try to make those connections with them, because we want to be able to seek to improve relationships, again, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well.
Absolutely. I think Stephanie really said that well. And as she mentioned, one of the things that we really have of like-minded from the beginning that we shared, because we'll talk about some of the things that we realized we had to grow together with, but was that desire to really find the multiple intelligence or the specific strength of each student and bring that out. We've been blessed with an incredible support network in our families, friends, and our work environment, and so that's been nurtured. And so we really have had that's one of the main goals of this book. While our organization is not faith-based in and of itself, we really want to include people who are involved in education, and that to be the main goal. Faith is part of our base.
Yes.
And so because that book was really what brought us to this organization, we really wanted to bring that to fruition and put that out first, kind of as a way of acknowledging that was our foundation, and then we're going to branch off into some other areas.
So you're looking kind of like a return to I think what has happened to the education system in the United States particularly is that I think that they think, just teaching the kids, to read, write, and to add, and all these other things, and they're kind of making them a little one-sided because they're not working on the foundation, the true foundation. Yes, we can teach them to learn, we can teach them to count, we can teach them to build things, but what are we giving them as far as like life skills and just things that they're going to need to deal with people and to deal with problems, because life is not always going to be easy. And I love the fact that you guys are almost going back to that traditional type of educational thing. You
guys are showing that you actually care, because another way to get through kids is also is to show them that you actually care, because they'll pay attention. A lot of them might not get that attention at home, and school with you guys might be the only time they get that support or that boost of confidence. So I really admire you guys. My mother was a teacher, and you guys remind me a lot of her. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yep.
I heard a saying that kids don't care how much you know; they want to know that you care, and that's always stuck with
It's
me.
funny. I'm glad you. I'm sitting over here trying to think of it. I'm like,
well, you know what it is too. I think a lot of times what get lost is that in this age of technology, everything's moving so fast.
Yes.
And so kids are being kind of encouraged to grow up a little faster, and we almost forget that they're still kids.
Yeah.
And our 11th graders would acknowledge, you put a sticker on their hand, they like it. I don't think it's because that sticker's going to get put in the photo album or up on their mirror and they're going to keep it forever, but they like somebody saying, good job. And that's something that it doesn't matter what your age is.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really critical to do.
Okay. And now you guys are working on a second book
Yes.
that's due out in the winter.
Sleeping and eating, not so important.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're both mothers and they're both teachers and they're doing all this. I mean, these guys must not get a lot of...
Multitasking.
Yes. So tell us about the other book.
Well, the first book we started, I couldn't even tell you when, years ago.
Probably around 2003, 2004.
2004. And it came from our experience. What happened is, and the terms have changed so many times over the years, but I think for the most part, people recognize the term inclusion and co-teaching and, whatever way it has evolved in their specific school district. And so Stephanie and I were put to work together, and we had both taken education classes. She knew her field, I knew my field. So, you put two teachers together who know their stuff, and the assumption is that's just going to work. But it worked. But there was a lot of learning and a lot of growing. Whose role is this? That term co-teaching, I think there was that almost a myth that it's like, well, this is the teacher's class, and then the special education teacher's just going to kind of be there. And that's really not what it is at its root. So we had a lot of discovery, a lot of discussions. Thankfully we both were respectful of each other, so that we could say, like, this isn't working for me, and what's this? And after a while, it was such a natural development. And Stephanie always likens it to a marriage, and that's really very much what it was.
Okay.
We had to really learn how to grow together, how to work together. And you can take a lot of classes in school, and they're going to tell you this is what it looks like on paper. But when you're really in the classroom and you're trying to figure out whose job is this, the students will play the teachers against each other. Well, Mrs. Singleton said that I could go to the bathroom. I don't know why you're saying I can't.
I was one of those students.
Yeah, so, it's like you have to know each other and know what are the boundaries and what are the things that you wouldn't do. So we had started working on that book. And at the time, we were really more focused on it being educationally rooted in theorists, and so we were doing a lot of research-based. And the more that we've talked to people about it, we realized what they really need is a handbook.
Exactly.
They need, this is what it's going to be like,
Yes.
and here it is. And so that's where it's going.
It's taking a life on its own again, as I'm saying, working titles. We started back in 2003, 2004, and here we are now in 2011. Now we know what we need to put out there and what's going to be most beneficial.
Yeah, it's funny. I've actually, speaking to most authors, a lot of authors always tell me that. They say that books are birthed over time, and that they may start off one way, but then they take a turn this way and take a turn back the other way, and it becomes something way more or different than what they started off with. So that's okay. Let's see. What are some of the things, maybe, I don't know, I think I asked you this before, if you have some things upcoming anytime soon, but it seems like you guys are so busy, I don't know if you'll be able to fit anything in. So let's just say, what do you guys see, in the next couple of months? What are you guys looking forward to?
Well, I would say definitely right now we want to definitely have our first book published, as we're talking about, for teachers to be able to use this. Also, people that are in community events as well, to be able to use the Empowering Youth book, because I think that's foundational. That will take them throughout the rest of the year. So we're looking definitely to have that book published. before the end of this year, actually, within the next couple of months. We're in the editing stages of that. Also, we would love to be able to have some opportunities to be able to do some workshops for other teachers that are in co-teaching experiences to let them have a better foundation going into the classroom upcoming year.
Okay.
Absolutely. And our products, too. We have products. We have a website up and running also right now, www.teacherslight.org. And we do have some of our T-shirts up there. We're kind of shifting gears a little. We had, as you said, ambitious is a good word to use. We've described ourselves in other ways sometimes because of the fact that we really took on a whole lot at once. We have all those T-shirts available. We may be limiting the colors down a little bit just to kind of shift gears a little bit and concentrate on the books. But the products we will be making available. And as Stephanie mentioned, that book, because that would really be an excellent Christmas gift.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get ready to take a midway break, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more with the Teacher's Light. And this is Kevin Armstrong, and you're listening to Inspired Minds, Extraordinary People on WTBQ.